everyone. Thank you for joining me for this practice. Today we're going to focus on the theme of building a foundation. And I chose this because now that we're sort of coming out of lockdown, or if you're like me, you're in a country where you have the prospect of someday coming out of lockdown, just preparing ourselves to, to come back into the world. And I guess this has been a good time to really, set your roots, reflect on your life. And I want to dedicate this practice to having a strong foundation for when we come out into the world again. Let's get started. So today we're going to begin in Tadasana, and we're just going to start off by rolling the shoulders up to the ears and out to the sides and then down. Now we're going to use this motion to send the palms out to the side and turn them facing forwards. If you're comfortable here, maybe you can close your gaze and just take a moment to bring your attention to your feet. Maybe today you choose to bring them flush together, or maybe you have them hip width apart. Just finding the position where you feel most stable, where you feel most rooted. And whilst you're here, take a moment to lift up your toes so you can really feel the contact of the foot against the mat. Then releasing those toes, point the fingers down, draw the kneecaps up. Make sure the thigh muscles are active, and take a moment here to draw your pelvic floor up. Tilt your tailbone down, so we're really lifting up, bringing the pelvic floor to the core, and we're carrying that lift all the way to the sternum, up towards the shoulders and the collarbones, and all the way up through the crown of the head. So we're in a resting pose here, but the body is still active. Just take a few moments to breathe into that and feel yourself rooted, but at the same time growing tall and expanding. And at the same time, can you explore how your breath flows in and out of your body? So we just want to notice it here. If it feels tight anywhere, if it feels a bit shallow, that's also fine. We're just observing our breath, and it's giving us feedback about our state of mind today. Now we're going to take a deep breath. And we're going to exhale here, releasing the pose for a second. Again, you can keep your feet together or hip width apart. We're going to bring our hands to our hips, and we're going to just start circling. But I want you to keep that focus on the contact between your feet and the mat. So the feet stay grounded all the way through. And it's that connection between the ground and your foot that's going to define how far you go with this movement. If you want to bring in the shoulders a bit, you can. Just leaning into anything that feels good for you today. And then we're going to circle that the other way. And again, letting the connection between your feet and the ground define the movement. Let it show you how far you're going to go today. And then finding center. We're going to practice that, but we're going to break it down a bit. So we're going to really press into our heels here. And we're going to shift our weight only slightly forward, keeping the heels on the ground. So this means you might be coming forward only like a millimeter. But that's enough. You'll feel the legs firing up. See if you can really engage your whole leg muscles by lifting up your toes. Alright, then coming back to center. We're going to lean back, pressing into the whole foot, only slightly. And then back to center. We're going to lean to the left, keeping the feet grounded. And then to the right. And back to center. Now we're going to come to the front of the mat. Again, having the feet slightly apart or together, depending on what you're feeling today. We're going to inhale here, and we're going to send the arms to the side all the way up. And here we're going imagine we're pushing something up with our hands. So you really want to reach up with the whole body. And see if you can tuck your belly button in a bit. Draw the rib cage in so you can lift up a little bit further. And then from here we're going to exhale and we're going to release all the way to the ground. From here, allow a slight bend in the knee. Maybe you pedal out at the knees to release any tension in your hamstrings. And then from here, we're going to bend the right knee. We're going to root down with the right hand, grounding it here. And then we're going to inhale and send those left fingertips all the way up to the sky. Pushing down with that right hand and reaching up toward the left, we create some space across the collarbones. Exhale, releasing. This time rooting the left palm down. Inhale, really reaching up tall with those right fingertips and bending at the left knee. Easing into the pose as you create space across your collarbones. Exhale, releasing to fold. And then from here we're going to inhale to gaze forwards. Exhale, releasing the upper body. Inhale, grounding the palms here. We're going to step back into plank. And we're going to really push into the base of our fingers, the fingertips here, and send the heels back. Doming through the upper back here. We're going to stay strong. And then when you're ready, we're going to begin to exhale to either side. If at any point this becomes too much, you can always come onto your knees and just sway from side to side. So we're just going to allow ourselves to pivot on the feet from side to side. So the shoulders are in line, they stay stable. We're having minimum movement here. One last round, feel your core active and engaged. And we're inhaling to center. We're going to exhale, bring the knees to the ground. We're going to exhale, we're going to dive forward with the nose. We're going to inhale, pressing into the top of the feet, coming into baby cobra. And to really support ourselves with the whole body, maybe you send your legs back to lengthen them a bit. And then you bring your hands off the ground. One more breath here. Bring the shoulders in by the body and the elbows by the side of the body. Exhale, bring the head to the ground. Taking a breath here. We're going to inhale, coming up into Sphinx pose. So we're going to bring the elbows beneath the body here. Really pressing into the ground or the mat with your palms. Send the shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Pressing into your thighs, into the tops of your feet. You're going to lengthen through the front body. Lifting up through your pelvic floor, all the way up to your chest. And then we're going to exhale, and we're going to find our way into a quick child's pose. Dragging the arms and the hands as we send our hip bones back. Rooting down the tailbone and reaching forward with the hands, we create some space across the spine. Allowing the heart center to melt down. And from here we're going to inhale, coming up onto all fours, and then transitioning into our down dogs. Pushing the mat away, sending those hips up, sending the tailbone up to the sky, and then pedaling out at the feet. Drawing the outer arms in to create space across the back body, across the shoulders. And maybe you carry on pedaling here for a moment, or maybe you find stillness, sending those heels towards the ground. That doesn't mean they have to reach the ground just yet. We want to just work in that direction and keeping the upper body in line. That might mean you need to bend the knees a bit. We want to make sure we keep that alignment, and maybe you find a sense of spaciousness in your lower abdomen. And then from here we're going to inhale, gaze forwards. We're going to step to the front of the mat. We're going to exhale, release the upper body. We're going to inhale, coming into a flat back. This time bringing your hands to your thighs and pressing against them to help you grow and push out through your pelvic floor. Drawing the elbows back, shoulders back. Exhale to fold. As you next inhale, allow a generous bend at the knees, and we're slowly going to unravel the spine, pressing through all four corners of the foot to help you reach up. Maybe at the top you roll the shoulders back, sending the gaze up towards the sky, allowing the sternum to reach up, the heart center is coming forwards and then upwards. Opening here for a moment. Then one more time, we're going to inhale, sending the palms to the side of the body, up and over the head, reaching up tall. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to send our arms forwards and then bending at the knees, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Tucking the tailbone under to keep an alignment here, maybe sinking a little bit deeper. Keeping those arms by the ears. We're going to exhale to fall to the ground. Inhale, coming into your flat back, placing your palms wherever feels right. Lengthening through the crown of the head. And we're going to exhale into plank pose. Maybe you bring your knees to the ground. Maybe you hover all the way down or come into Chaturanga if that is in your practice. Then we're going to inhale, coming up into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, pressing into the tops of the feet, drawing the shoulders back and down. Exhaling into your Down Dog. Taking one steady breath here. Then we're going to inhale, sending the left leg up to the sky. We're going to exhale, we're going to step that in between the hands, adjusting if you need to. And then we're going to bring the back heel to the ground and send the toes out about 45 degrees. Inhale, sweeping the arms up to the sky. Keeping the hip bones forwards, rooting forwards and squared. We're in Warrior One here. Taking one breath, really reaching up. Drawing the rib cage in. Maybe you send the gaze up to the fingertips. And as you exhale, begin to send that energy, that momentum forwards. Taking one breath here. We're going to exhale, coming to the ground, sending that foot back and flowing through your vinyasa. Maybe hovering all the way to the ground or coming into Chaturanga. Inhaling into your Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. And exhaling into your Down Dog. One centering breath here, pushing the mat away. Opening up through the back of the knees as you lengthen the hamstrings. And when you're ready, inhale, bring the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, rounding through the spine as you bring that foot all the way forward between your palms. Rooting down through that back heel, sending the toes out 45 degrees. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, pressing through the edge of the back foot. Maybe adjusting a little bit if you need to. Sending those hip forwards. We're going to reach up to the sky. And as you next exhale, we're going to send that lengthening, that reaching a little bit forwards. Tilting from your center. And exhale, bringing that to the ground. Coming into plank and finding your vinyasa. And then we're going to exhale, we're all going to meet in down dog. Taking a moment to breathe here. If you feel like it's right for you, take a few breaths in child's pose. Otherwise, really center here. Press away from the mat with both your feet and your hands. Feel your body supported here by your strength as you move away from gravity. One more deep breath here. Maybe sigh out on an exhale. We're going to inhale to gaze forwards. Maybe we step or hop to the front of the mat. Exhale, releasing the upper body. And inhale, coming into your flat back. Feeling the spine grow nice and long. Shoulders drawing down and back. Exhale to release. This time we're going to bend the knees slightly. We're going to inhale, sending the arms to the side, up and over the head. Maybe gaze into the fingertips, coming into slight back bend here. Exhale, bring the palms through heart center. Holding them here. And we're going to inhale one more time, sending the arms to the side, up and over the head. And this time as you exhale, draw a line with your thumb and bring that line over the center of your forehead, over your nose, giving yourself a mini massage here, over your lips, all the way down your throat, until you reach the heart center and pause there for a moment. Spread the fingertips here, press into the palms gently so you activate your arm muscles, your shoulder muscles, and you feel the shoulder blades maybe drawing further away from each other. Maybe you feel some space across the collarbones. And check in with your breath again. Check how it's flowing now. Maybe it's a little bit faster. Maybe you feel a little bit warmer. Just taking this, your practice, as a means to grow more familiar and friendlier with your body. So this is really a moment for you to get to know yourself, all parts of yourself. All right. And then from here, we're going to shift the weight onto the right foot. We're going to inhale the left knee up, engaging the core here. We're going to bend the right knee slightly. We're going to begin to send that left leg back, flexing the foot as we bring the torso forwards. And imagine you're kicking against a wall here. So we're really activating the lifted leg and the back. Maybe even send your arms forwards, lengthening the whole spine. And then as you exhale, trust that the ground is behind you. You're going to reach that leg to the floor, stepping it down, coming into a high lunge as we reach those arms up, lifting up through the pelvic floor. Maybe you send your gaze back. And then we're going to exhale, opening up into Warrior Two. Adjusting the stance if you need to. We want to have the heels in line or heel to instep. Sending those arms out. Pressing into the back foot, the outer edge, and feeling both legs active and strong. Inhale, bring that front palm up and reaching it up all the way to the ceiling. Left arm comes back down to the leg. Opening up through the right side. Exhale, bring the right forearm to right thigh. Inhale, reaching left arm to the sky. Really opening up here. Feeling the shoulder blades spacing, I was going to say spacing, but that's not a word. Feeling space across the shoulder blades and the collarbones. And then maybe you stay here. Maybe you reach your right hand to the ground. Maybe you stay here, or for a couple of breaths you decide to come into a bind by bringing the right arm underneath the body and bringing the left hand to meet the right hand. Make sure your chest is still in line with your legs here and just that you're still opening up at the upper body. And then exhale, releasing down here. We're going to inhale, bring the arms all the way back up into warrior two. We're going to lengthen the front leg. Just take a moment here. Just center yourself, maybe bend the knee a couple of times. And we're going to inhale here. And we're going to begin to tilt the body forwards. And we're going to exhale, bring the right palm to the right shin. Inhale, bring the left arm all the way up. And again, feeling your arms rooting in opposite direction, pressing into both corners of the feet. And then maybe you stay here. Maybe you support yourself with your core, with your torso, by releasing the bottom hand and just pointing it towards the ground. And we're going to exhale, releasing the hands down, bending the front knee. We're going to step in slightly. And here we want to widen our stance a bit. So we had it on kind of like a tight line. Now we want to think of narrow train tracks. So we want a bit of space there. And bring them reasonably close in together. Bring your hands to the hips to square up here. And then when you're ready, you can either bring your palms to your shin or to the mat. Take a moment to lengthen the spine here. Imagine you're coming into a flat back. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you bring the left palm outside the right foot, keeping the hips squared. We're going to inhale, sending the right arm all the way to the sky. And really feel your foundation here, your legs strong. Feel the inner thighs pressing towards each other to support you. One deep breath here. Exhale, release. Inhale to step that foot in and take a moment to pedal out at the knees. Maybe you shake the head, maybe you shake the arms. Oh, releasing any stuffiness. And then from here, one more time, inhale, sending the arms to the side, over the body, all the way over the head. Reaching up tall, exhale, drawing them through heart center. One breath here to stabilize. And when you're ready, begin to press into all four corners of that left foot, setting a strong foundation here as you raise the right knee. Engaging the core. Exhale, we're going to send that leg back as we come forward with the torso. Flexing up the foot, kicking against your imaginary wall. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you inhale to send the arms forward. And a deep breath. And as you exhale, trusting that the ground is there, trusting that your body is stable enough. We're going to bring that back foot to the ground. Inhale, sending the arms up in your high lunge. And then exhale, opening up into your warrior two and adjusting your stance if you need to. Stabilizing here, making sure the knee isn't collapsing to either side or going over the heel. We're going to inhale, bring the left palm, up to the sky, and reaching that all the way up and over. Right hand comes down. And exhale, bring the left forearm to the left thigh. Inhaling, right arm to the sky. Maybe your gaze comes up towards your fingers. Maybe it stays forward, depending on how the neck feels. Maybe you stay here or bring that left arm to the ground. Maybe this feels like a good opening pose for you. Maybe you want a little bit more and you bring the left arm beneath the body to meet the right hand. And you come into your bind. Keeping the shoulders opening, your gaze coming upwards. And a deep breath here. And on your next exhale, release. Everyone coming up, straightening that front leg. And really rooting into your foundation, maybe bending the knees a couple of times. And we're going to inhale, begin to tilt forwards. I'm going to exhale, bring the left palm to left shin and reaching up with the right hand, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Maybe the gaze stays forwards or maybe goes up to the fingertips. Maybe you stay here or you experiment with engaging the core by releasing the bottom hand and reaching it towards the floor. And then exhale, bending the front knee, bringing the hands down to support you. And then we're going to step the back foot in, widen our stance slightly. Take a moment to bring your hands to the hip, square them out here. Imagine you're in your flat back, sending the crown of the head forwards, and then reaching down with the hands. Remember, you can have them on the mat, on your shin, maybe even on your thigh if that feels right for you. Drawing the inner thighs towards each other, so we're balancing the pelvic floor here. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you bring the right hand outside the left foot. Really squaring out the hips here, strong in your foundation. You're going to send the left arm up to the sky, bringing your gaze towards the front of the room. And one deep breath here, sending the arms in opposite directions, really twisting from your core and from the torso, the upper body. And then exhale, bringing that down to the ground. We're going to step the right foot in. Pedaling out of the knees, maybe sighing out, releasing anything that you feel like you need to release. And then we're going to inhale, bring the feet together. As we exhale, we're going to come up onto the heels. We're going to come up with the heels. And we're going to stay here for a moment, lengthening the spine. And breathing into this pose, just checking in with how it feels. And then from here, maybe you stay where you are. Maybe you feel like this is good enough for you today. Or maybe you experiment with balancing by bringing your palms to the heart center here, lifting up long through the spine, feeling the crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you experiment whipping the right hand outside the left knee and sending the left arm all the way back, coming into a twist. And if you decided to twist, coming back to center, and switching over the arms as you bring the left hand outside the right knee and send the right arm and hand to the back of the room. Inhaling back to center. And if you need to come down at any point, do. If you can, try to stay here for a couple more breaths. You might find that the feet are cramping up a bit. See if you can breathe into that region of the body. The feet support you all day. And sometimes they need a little bit more work than we actually give them. A little bit more support and attention. Exhale, releasing. And then with the help of your hands, coming to sit. We're going to bring our feet slightly in front of us and then bringing the hands behind the body, rolling the shoulders back here. We're going to bring the calf parallel to the mat. And then maybe you keep your hands where they are, or maybe you bring them forward coming into boat pose. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you straighten those legs for the last few breaths, choosing the pose that suits you today. One last deep breath. Exhale, slowly coming down to the mat with control. Take a moment to bring the soles of the feet together here. Holding onto your feet. Use your hands and your arms to push your upper body forward slightly to help you lift from your pelvic floor and grow long through the spine, drawing the shoulders down. And then from here, we're going to begin to massage the foot. So most of the time, most of the day, we have our feet on the ground. So technically the feet are really the foundation of our body. And most of us probably give very, very little attention to our feet. And if you think about it, any tension you have in your foot is going to just shoot up through the rest of the body. So I want you to really send some love to your feet now. Maybe you wiggle the toes a bit. Maybe you start drawing some outward motions from the center of the foot outwards with the thumb. Maybe even begin to massage your heels a bit, your ankles. And maybe close your eyes for the last couple of breaths. Nice. And then from here, finding stillness, we're going to hold onto the feet. We're going to draw them outwards, flexing the foot and lifting up from your hips. We're going to begin to send the torso forwards. Only slightly. We want to make sure we keep that lift and tilt from the hips. Sending the heart center upwards and forwards. And then we're going to inhale to come up. Bringing the knees to center. We're going to exhale to come to lie down on the mat. And then from here, we're going to walk the heels in, keeping them underneath or in line with the knees. And we're going to really press the lower back towards the mat. And we want to work with feeling the whole spine pressing against the mat. Feeling yourself supported by the ground here. And at the same time, still pressing into the feet slightly. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw the shoulders underneath the body. We're going to tuck the tailbone under as we inhale, coming up into our bridge pose. Exhale, slowly unraveling the spine, vertebra by vertebra. And then one more time, peeling up off of the ground. And exhale, unraveling the spine. Inhale to lift one more time. This time we're going to hold for a few breaths. Maybe you leave your hands facing up, maybe they're facing down. Maybe you tuck the shoulders under and the upper arm even more so you can interlace the fingers here. And imagine you have a block in between your thighs and you're pressing against that. And your whole front body is engaging. You feel your abdominal muscles engaging. Pressing away from the mat with your feet. One last breath. And exhale, slowly unraveling the spine. And then hugging the knees into center. And from here we're going to send the arms and the hands up to the side. And then we're going to begin to shift the weight from either side. So we're going to start by sending the knees to the right side of the room. If you want some stillness at this point, then stay here for a few breaths. Otherwise, we're going to start moving between either side. Sending the knees to the left. And then inhaling up. And sending them to the right. Inhaling up. And sending them to the left. If you chose to stay still, then begin to shift your knees to the left side. Inhaling up. Exhaling right. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale left. And then inhaling back to center. And then release releasing the legs down to the ground. We're going to send the arms up and over the head. And from here we're going to flex the foot and we're going to reach the legs and feet away, reaching the hands up and over the head, stretching the whole body, tensing the whole structure. Deep breath, exhale, release. Allowing the legs to grow floppy, allowing the arms to grow floppy, bringing them by the side of the body. And coming into Shavasana. So we're going to stay here for a few minutes. If there's something you really urgently need to do, then try to take a few breaths here before you go. Otherwise, join me for this resting position. Just start by feeling the back of the body against the mat. Maybe you feel the back of the arms pressing there, your buttocks, your thigh muscles, the heels, the calves, the back of the head. And feel your breath slowing down as it finds its natural pace. And allow the chin to just tuck slightly into the chest so you keep the back of the neck long. And feel the skin around your collarbones, your neck. Just feel it softening and releasing. Feel the skin around your jaw, your eyes and your eyebrows, just melting down to the side. And feel the eyes melting back into their socket as you release the whole body to the ground, surrendering into the pose. And just staying in silence with yourself, just observing the mental and physical structure and the sensations that come along with it. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring some movement to your fingertips, to your toes. Maybe you sway the head gently from side to side, massaging the back of the head. And you might want to inhale, sending the arms up and over the head and stretching the body as if you're just waking up. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring one hand to the chest, to the ribs, and we're going to bring the other hand to to the lower belly. And then we're just going to hum for 3 breaths here. And as you inhale, imagine you're inhaling fresh air here. And as you hum, just hum out any stuffiness, any stale sensations, any stale breath. So inhaling to hum here. And exhaling in your hum. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Don't worry if you feel silly, no one's looking. Inhaling here. Exhaling in your hum. Last one, inhaling. And humming everything out. Stay here. Maybe you find your way up to seated position. And we're going to close the practice here. And for the rest of the day, I'd like to encourage you to really focus on this sense of foundation, of the sense of being rooted in your body in the present moment. And carry that with you as long as you can. And remember, you can always come back to this video if you need to. Thank you very much for joining me. Namaste.